Hey guys, this is Wayne Scully with W Scully CPAPC, fixing America's tax problems all day, every day, right? Today you'll learn about options for reducing tax penalties, IRS penalties. When you owe them money, you got to pay the penalty on top of that. That's what we're talking about today, the penalty side. Now, it's supposed to be a quick video on this. If you have more questions, we can talk about it later. But for now, I'm just going to jump into it, right? Now, it really sucks when you owe the IRS money. Not to mention, on top of that, they're going to charge you penalty, right? Nobody wants to owe, nobody wants to pay a penalty. Nobody wants to pay that, right? Now, I don't even want to pay $2 at the ATM to get my money, not to mention a penalty from the IRS, right? Now, they have about 150 different types of penalties that are written into the IRS, into the tax code, right? 150 penalties, right? The most common two ones, the most common penalties that you'll see is the one for not paying on time and the one for not filing on time, right? Now, now it's 5%, the penalties, 5% of the balance due, right? 5% of the balance due is your penalty for not paying on time or filing on time, right? Now, if you don't owe money and you file late, not a problem. No penalties because they owe you, right? No penalties, right? So that's fine. If you decide not to file, altogether, there's not gonna be a penalty. As long as you don't owe, you're good. The problem with that is, and I don't want to talk too much about that, but if you don't owe, you're basically giving the IRS an interest-free loan. You don't want to do that either, right? So you want to file timely, if not to owe them, but to actually get your refund and be able to spend your money the way you want to do it, right? Otherwise, you leave it with them. It's five. As a matter of fact, I don't want to go into that as far as how long you have to to file a return to get a refund. I talk about it in another video. So now, as far as the penalties go, they max out at 25%, folks. 25%. So the most you pay on that tax debt, the liability is 25% of that in the form of a penalty. You don't want that, right? You're paying too much, too much, right? It's like worse than even putting your money on a credit card, right? Putting your debt on a credit card or billing up debt on a credit card, right? All right. So you don't want to do that. So the good thing with IRS is that they don't charge you twice if you had, like, say, two of those penalties. Let's say a failure to file and a failure to pay, they'll max it at 25% in total, right? 25% in total. So be aware of that. You don't want to owe the penalty, but if you have both of them, you can max it at 25% for both, right? Now, what can be done about these penalties? What can be done? What can you do? What can you do about these penalties? Now, there are two main ways to handle penalties, right? One, right, one way is to apply for administrative waiver. They call it the first time abatement of penalty. Now, if you haven't owed any money in, say, 3 years, right? You haven't owed any money in 3 years, or you haven't owed that type of penalty in that type of debt in 3 years, in the past 3 years, you get to what? You get to ask for a waiver. You get to ask for a waiver. Now, if you haven't never had that issue before, you also get to ask for the waiver, right? And sometimes, in some cases, if you call the IRS up, the agents will automatically look out for you to see if you actually qualify for that waiver, right? So be mindful of that, right? Now, the other way is what's called reasonable cause penalty abatement. What's that? Well, that's basically where you don't qualify for the first time abate, right? Because it's probably had this debt more than once, so you've had it, if you than 3 years ago, right? You don't qualify, right? So now you can apply for a reasonable cause waiver. Now, what's that? It has to be something where you were sick, you couldn't file your return, you had some, death in the family, you had some kind of extraneous situation that resulted in you not filing on time or not paying on time, right? You had a financial loss, meaning you had, let's say you had, papers in your basement got flooded out by a huge storm like a nor'easter or something. I don't know. You couldn't get your records, so you couldn't file, so you couldn't pay. You didn't know what you paid. You didn't know what you owed, so you couldn't pay. So that's what's called a reasonable cause abatement, right? Reasonable cause abatement. So you qualify for that in that scenario. Now, I'll just give you an example. Like, if you owed 3 years or whatever, right? And What am I talking about? Yeah, guys, I'm so wired on this abatement stuff. I'm even twisting my brain here, trying to figure ways for you guys to avoid that. Now, what I want to say is that if you have a problem or you know someone has a problem, right? These are not guaranteed things, by the way. The first time abatement is guaranteed, but this reasonable cause is not guaranteed. But there is success rate in these things, right? They do work. You just have to be able to make your argument, make it to the best of your ability, or have someone like myself working on your behalf to make that case for you, right? And if you do that, you'll most likely be successful. I can't guarantee it, but you most likely will. Now, if you need help or you know someone that needs help with obtaining an administrative waiver, or if you have a more comprehensive situation that you want me to take a look at, maybe to remove a bigger penalty, or maybe you want to make an offer or something, you think you qualify for an installment agreement, give me a call. Again, my name is Wayne Scully. I'm with W. Scully CPA PC, focused on fixing America's tax problems, right? Our firm specializes in tax resolution matters, and we serve clients virtually. Now, make an appointment by visiting www.wscullycpa.com or call me toll free 855-254-1892, right? 855-254-1892. Now, please comment, like, share this video. And by the way, I got a deal for you guys. If you get to me by February 15th, I'll give you 5% of my fees. 5% of my usual fees. Get to me by February 15th, you'll get that deal, okay? So guys, thanks again. You take care for now. We'll talk another time.